What is up, everybody? This is JP, your online personal trainer. Long time no see. I know it's been a few weeks since I've had a face-to-face video, but as you can see, it's because I got my podcast up and going, and I already have 2 episodes on my podcast page. If you want to go to my podcast page directly, I will link it down below, but as you can already tell, all my podcast videos are going to be uploaded to YouTube, including Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and SoundCloud. So if you want to go check out my podcast, you can search it on all those platforms. But again, if you're already subscribed to my YouTube, you could just check it out here, or like I said, a link down below directly to my podcast page. Next things up, I have started Patreon again for the second time. I had a Patreon before. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's just a platform, a website for creators of any type of content, whether that be art, music, fitness, to be able to monetize what they're doing and to give people like you guys rewards in regards to, like I said, money. So you guys pledge money to me and then you get things in return. So it's not like you're just donating, you're actually getting things. I had a Patreon before, but it just, I don't know, it just didn't seem like it was going anywhere, or there was nothing unique too much about it. And I don't know if they changed it or I didn't see this before, but they have a new setup, a new layout where you could have tiers that give you suggestions for rewards, and I've seen other people do it. So I started it up again, and I really gonna stick with it this time because I really think, you know, it's a good website. I don't know if they got better or I just didn't see these other features that I had before. So please go check me out again on patreon.com/JPFitness. Again, it's patreon.com/JPFitness. You could check out a bunch of cool rewards you can get there. All right, today's video is going to be on weight management. This video I actually put into kind of like a PDF format, and there are people on my Facebook page, my Facebook fitness page, which is also linked down below, that I put a post up asking for help because I needed a small favor done for kind of to promote my social media. I had some people invite other friends to like my page and to put my page as see first on Facebook. So basically, I have this PDF. So if you want the PDF too, which goes a little bit different, it goes in depth too, just like this video will, but it also talks about a few different things. And I also link all the few websites that I mentioned in here. I link on there so you can get quick access to them. So if you want a PDF that you could open up quick anywhere, get a little bit different information, see it in writing, I definitely will be able to give that to you. Just message me on my Facebook down below, and then I'll ask you what I want done. It'll take no longer than 5 minutes. So if you have 5 minutes of your time, you can get a free PDF. And thank you to all the people that already have helped me do that. All right, today's weight management video is going to be on weight management. And I'm basically going to give you a 3-step process on how to change your weight based off what you want. And notice that I did not label this video weight loss, because not everyone wants to lose weight. Yes, I know in America and certain parts of the world, weight loss is more prominent and not many people want to gain weight, or some people just want to maintain. But this video will help you kind of have a simple, this is for people not trying to make it super complicated. This is for people who want a simple plan on how to lose weight, gain weight, maintain weight. Now, if you have a specific plan or an in-depth plan or something super complicated that you know that you want to do, please go ahead and do that. This isn't something that I'm trying to say is that like an ends-all, be-all type of thing. It's not like, oh, this is the only thing. There's many ways to try to track your weight, lose weight, things like that. But I'm going to give people a simple step process on figuring out where to go and how to manage that. All right, step 1 is to find out your TDEE. What is TDEE? It's your total daily energy expenditure. Basically, TDEE is how many calories you burn in a day. That's all you really need to know about that. But just to touch into it a little bit, TDEE is made up of your basic metabolic rate, which is how many calories you burn at rest doing absolutely nothing. That's the one thing. 2 is your thermogenic effect of food, which is, believe it or not, the food that you eat contributes to calories that you burn. You're thinking, well, that's confusing. I'm taking in calories. Well, it takes some more well, if you're taking in calories, it also takes a little bit of calories to break down that food. Now, this is why healthier food choices have a higher thermogenic effect of food. So you want to make complex carbohydrates, include more fiber in your diet, things like that. But again, you're taking in calories, you're still going to be taking in more than you're burning. But just to keep that in your mind, that's what also makes up TDEE. And the last thing that makes up TDEE, which you guys probably know to be the most prominent, which is always told of you for certain things, is physical activity. It's doing things, moving around, anything that's outside of your basic metabolic rate. Because most people don't just lay down all day. They're walking, they're working out, exercising, things like that. So To talk about them in fractions of your TDE, your basic metabolic rate will be the majority of the calories that you burn, not physical activity or not thermogenic effect of food, but they still contribute pretty big portions to it too. All right, but that's what we're trying to find out. We're trying to find out your TDEE. Now you may be thinking, how do you find that? Well, you need to find that by first, there's two ways that you can do this. I mean, there's more than two ways, but for the sake of this video and for simplicity, there's two ways that I usually have people do it, or that if they want to figure it out. There's one way that's a little bit longer, but it's the better way in my opinion. And then there's another way which is a little bit shorter, which the results can be a little off depending on your body type. The first way is to find out your body fat percentage using like visual aids or pictures. So you can go to just go on Google and type in getting body fat percentage with pictures, or visually, getting body fat percentage visually. You'll get a few websites that pop up. You can look up again, there's a few of them, so I can't point out a specific one. There's like 3. When you type that in on Google, the first 3 are pretty good. Then find a picture that resembles your body type closely and find out your body fat percentage based off those pictures. Now, this is where it can get a little tricky because I don't want you to misgauge your body fat. If you feel comfortable, you can have a family member or a significant other or a close friend look at you and see if what you're saying is right. Okay, well, I think that this picture resembles your body the most. And then whatever picture resembles your body the most, that's typically going to be around your body fat percentage. So once you have that, you can go to TDEEcalculator.net. I think that's what it is. Again, you could type in getting my TDEE on Google. That's the first thing that will pop up. And then you can type in the body fat percentage that you got from the pictures, your height, your overall weight, gender, your physical activity level, and then boom, you're going to get your TDEE, which is the amount of calories that you burn in a day. That's the first step. The second step, which is a little bit shorter, which I don't really recommend, is using the Harris-Benedict equations to calculate your TDEE, which again, it's if you're extremely muscular or you're extremely obese, I'm pretty sure that these can be off. And it even says on the wiki, and again, I know Wikipedia, people try to say it's not factual, but everything in there is referenced. But if you go to Wikipedia and type in Harris-Benedict calorie calculator or Harris-Benedict equations, it'll pop up. Take the newest one, the newest Harris-Benedict equations. I think it's called the revised Harris-Benedict equations. Put in whatever information that it asks for. I think it asks for your weight in kilograms and your height in centimeters. And based on whether you're male or female, it'll ask you to pick one of the two equations. Then you take whatever number you get from those equations, because that equations, all that does is estimate your basal metabolic rate. So it doesn't count in thermogenic effect of food and physical activity level. Then you take that number and then you multiply it down by a number below, and then that'll get you how many calories you burn in a day. Again, all the stuff is in my PDF if you want to, I told you how to get that. It's a little bit easier because I have everything laid out. But that's the second way to get your TDE. Again, I would much rather go with the first one. If you have to go with the second one just because of time or you don't feel like doing the first one, that's okay. But it even says on the Wikipedia, and it's referenced, that it's plus or minus 210 calories off. So it could be 210 calories up or 210 calories down from what you're saying. So I think ultimately that could be like a 400 calorie difference if it just happened to be way off, which is a pretty huge chunk, because we're going to get into the next step, which is going to be a huge chunk. So I would really recommend you get into use the first method. All right, once you have the amount of calories that you burn in a day, you are going to, depending on your goal, if you want to just maintain weight, you're going to eat that many calories. You're going to eat that many calories in a day. If you want to lose weight, you're going to subtract 300 to 500 calories from that whatever number you got. Now, I say 300 to 500 calories because you're not going to be on the dot every single day. Now, but if I had to pick which range I want you to get closer to, I'd rather you just go 300 calories below the number that you got. Why? Because depending on you as an individual, you're probably going to be somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500 calories, somewhere around there, 2,000 to 3,000 maybe. And 500 calories, yeah, you may be thinking, well, I want to see results faster. I want to eat 500 calories or less so I can see results faster. Yes, but that, depending on you and how many calories that you got from step one, that might cause a slight reverse effect. That might, again, it might be harder for you to work out. You might feel too hungry. You might feel too big of a jump at first. So I would recommend trying to get closer to this 300 mark. So again, let's just hypothetically say, let's say the amount of calories that you calculated in step one is 2,300. If you're trying to lose weight, I'd eat around 2,000 calories. No more than that, but no less than 1,800. I'd say around 2,000 calories. If you're trying to gain weight and your number was 2,300 in step 1, I would eat around 2,600 to 2,800 calories in between there. Not too much more, because again, if you're eating too much more past what you're burning in a day, you're just going to gain too much weight, which is not going to be good weight. You're going to gain fat, and you're going to slowly, it's called creeping obesity. You're going to start slowly gaining a weight that you don't want. So that's what I would do. And obviously neutral, you eat as many calories as it said, so you'd be eating 2,300. Again, you get a range because it's not going to be specifically on the dot. So that's pretty self-explanatory. You eat less, you eat more. Now, how do you do that? Okay, what I recommend is whatever calories, again, we'll go with 20. Let's just say you're trying to lose weight, and since it was 2,300, you're trying to eat 2,000 calories a day. Divide that amount of calories up into any type of meals to snacks ratio that's going to be good for you. The reason why I'm not giving you a specific meal to snack ratio is because everyone's days are different. You may have a different day or a different schedule than mine, or you may not be able to eat 5 times a day. So if you're trying to eat 2,000 calories a day to lose weight because your TDEE is 2,300, what I would recommend is maybe doing 4 400-calorie meals and 2 200-calorie snacks. Or you could do 3 500-calorie meals and then 2 250-calorie snacks. Either way, it comes out to 2,000 calories. So you want to divide it up. What you don't want is too many big meals. So if you have 2,000 calories in a day, don't eat 1,000 calories and then 1,000 calories. I wouldn't recommend that. It's just too many calories at once. Again, some people might try to say, oh, well, there's a study that shows that this person got all their protein at one time and they were fine. Well, why would you do that on purpose? I wouldn't do that on purpose. I would preferably, if you can, eat more frequently. Again, it makes you feel less hungry. If it's the same amount of calories, you feel less hungry, you're getting protein dispersed about the day. I'm not sure there are a ton of studies that say that doing this is better, but I don't see the reason why would you put all your protein out one part of the day. That usually leads to people getting hungry if they're very sporadic with their eating. So try to divide up whatever calories you got in step 1 evenly between meals and snacks. Now, and that was step 3. So, and also with step 3 is some tips, and then I'll give you some tips after too. So step 3 is cook in bulk. So whatever calories that you got and the meals that you divided is cook in bulk. That's the biggest excuse with people. So you know how many calories you burn in a day, you know how many calories that you're gonna eat. Now you need to cook in bulk. So whatever it is, whatever healthy foods that you like, and obviously I'll talk about healthy foods in a little bit, but cook in bulk, because that's the biggest excuse that I see. And don't give yourself excuses. Don't give yourself ammunition, is how I like to say it. People like to give themselves ammunition. They want to leave excuses around so they can grab them. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, I don't have this. If you cook in bulk, you take away the excuse of saying I don't have time. So for example, if you have Sunday off from work or whatever, usually people have 1 day off or 2 days off for the most part, but I'm trying to think in a worst case scenario so someone doesn't try to come up with an excuse. On your day off, find cheap but healthy foods that you can cook in just a bunch out once. Just cook a ton of it. And I would probably buy Tupperware containers. If you have other containers, that's fine, but I really think Tupperware, any type of containers like that. So if your meals, like for example, I'll tell you what I do. What I do is I cook a bunch of black beans, a bunch of broccoli, and a bunch of corn all at one time, a bunch of it. I'll cook enough for like 2 days worth of meals, so I don't have to bother about nothing for 2 days. And think about it, a black bean, corn, and broccoli, there's carbs in there, healthy carbs, lots of fiber, and then I get a lot of protein from the beans. It's a good, healthy, well-rounded meal. So that's something that that's what I do, but whatever you do, just cook a bunch of it at once, and then divide it up in the meals that you got from step 2 or step 3, how many meals that you wanted. Like for me, my meals are about 500 calories. So I'm eating 2,500 calories a day. So what I would do is I eat 4 500-calorie meals, which is 200 calories. I have 2 to 3 protein shakes a day. And by protein shakes, I mean just a scoop of protein. That's it. And my scoops of protein are 110 calories. That would be 2,330 calories. And then I have 2 bananas. So it's about 20 or 30 calories over, but that's okay because I have a range. So I'm about 2,500 and bam, that's it. Now, it's not that hard. It's not that simple. Now, if you're someone who gets bored of the same thing, you may want to create and make different meals so that you could have 4 or 5 different meals to choose from that are all the same calories, that have a good balance of macros. That's what I would do. So again, it just depends on you. Me, I can kind of eat the same thing the majority of the time. Now, there are certain times where I replace dinner with a healthy food that's different, so I can get a wider variety of foods, because a wider variety of foods is a better approach to eating, so you're not deficient in certain nutrients. But again, it just depends on you. Most people like a little bit different, so you're probably going to want to cook different meals anyways. So other random tips that I could offer. The reason why I didn't really talk about healthy food yet in these steps is because these steps are pretty definitive and easy. Get your calories, subtract, add 300 to 500, or don't do anything to it, and then divide up your meals into even meals and snacks, and then cook in bulk, and then use Tupperware containers. You already know about that. Now, the reason why I haven't talked about eating healthy yet, which I'm going to right now, is just because, to me, most people think that eating healthy is super, super, super hard, which it's not. It's not. A lot of you know what you're supposed to eat. A lot of you think that it's hard. You think it's some crazy abnormal thing. You know what you're supposed to eat. So if I had asked you a white potato with cheese and sour cream, or a sweet potato is going to be better. If I asked you French fries or brown rice, you already know brown rice is better. If I asked you black beans or red meat, like a steak, carne asada, which one's a better source of protein? The black beans. Now you don't get technical. You may be saying, well, the red meat's a complete protein or whatever. It doesn't matter. That's not what I'm trying to say. Red meat has a lot of things that's horrible with it. It's a horrible food. It's, again, a lot of cholesterol, things like that. It's just, you eat red meat all the time, it's going to lead to a lot of heart problems down the line. So what I'm saying is, you know what healthy eating is. Now, for meals, the only thing I would say is balance each meal out with a healthy carbohydrate and a healthy protein. And the carbohydrate could either be, if you work out a lot, you can eat starchy carbohydrates if you work out a lot, more so than someone else. Now, if you don't work out a lot, which you should be working out somewhat frequently, you just get fibrous carbohydrates in there, and that would be vegetables and things like that. And also too, yeah, so it'd be vegetables. So again, it's as simple as that. Your meal's a healthy protein and a healthy carb. Again, that's as simple as that. So healthy carbs would be things like sweet potatoes, brown rice, beans. Believe it or not, there are proteins and carbs. Corn, whole grain pasta, things like that. Now, healthy proteins: cheese seeds, walnuts, beans, chickpeas, things like that. So just, it's really not that complicated. So a healthy carb, healthy protein. Now, some meals you want to include some fiber, again, and then if you work out a lot, you can get some starchy carbohydrates in there. So again, it's as simple as that. It's not super hard. And when you do this and you stay on track for a while, you may want to recalculate your TDEE like every month or something, or every 2 months when your weight adjusts, so you can figure out, how many calories or how many calories you need to eat in a day and what your meal plan is supposed to be, so you can readjust. I wouldn't do this once and just stick with that forever, because again, your weight is going to adjust. If you're working out, your muscle mass is going to adjust. Hopefully you plan to get a better body composition from this. And another note too is that this is not the most accurate way to calculate your TDEE. It's not. There are plenty of other ways to calculate your TDEE that are way more complex. One of those is, and it's not, some of them aren't super complex. You could use skin calipers. The reason why I didn't mention that though is because you typically want someone who's very experienced with skin calipers to get a good reading. If you're not experienced and haven't done it a bunch, you're going to get wrong readings all the time. So these are ways that you don't need to have experience with: skin calipers, hydrostatic weighing, things like that. If you have a better means of getting your body fat percentage, please do so. But again, this is just for simplicity. But I hope you guys like this video. Again, please check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/JPFitness. If you guys have any ideas, things for videos that you want me to do in the future, comments, questions, please post them down below. But until next time, see ya.